So, the Relics Redux Expedition for No Man's Sky is finally here, featuring an awesome Basilisk Crown multi-tool, an incredible Livingstone jetpack and other exciting rewards. But the expedition is time limited and may be quite tedious, so I've prepared a guide to help you complete it in under 2 hours. Fast and efficient. This is aiming for gaming, and today we're aiming for efficient gaming. To start the expedition, you have 2 options. You can start a new game in expedition mode, or you can summon the space anomaly from any existing save and run to this terminal. The second option is better, because you can bring certain resources and technologies with you, which may instantly complete or realize some milestones or simply speed up your expedition progress overall. This time you can bring a lot of items, so feel free to pause the video here and prepare everything you need. Everything you bring to the expedition will be available at the same terminal within the expedition after you warp for the first time, so the initial mining is inevitable. You can also buy most of these resources from the space station terminals and traders if you want to speed things up. I'll be starting from scratch in this guide to simulate a new player experience. Another reason to start the expedition from your main save is that you can spend some nanites to copy the starship or multi-tool you had equipped at the moment you started the expedition, in case you want to use them during the run as well. All of this works in reverse too. If you start the expedition from your main save, you'll be able to transfer back most of the items you obtained during the expedition and copy the starship or multi-tool you had equipped when you finished it. Also, keep in mind several rules for any expedition. Don't forget to claim rewards for completed milestones, as some of them contain plans for the next milestones. Don't enter black holes in the middle of the expedition, as they will warp you far away from the expedition. If you entered one, simply visit the nearest space station and use its portal to return to the last rendezvous system you visited. Don't use storage extension slots from milestone rewards if you're planning to bring them back to your main save. Just decline their usage and send them back at the end of the expedition. Use the refiner if you need to process anything. And don't install modules you get from milestones if you don't really need them, as they can be sold to technology merchants within the expedition for easy nanites. If you install a module, its cost reduces to 16, we don't want this to happen. Once you start the expedition, set a Bytesized milestone as active right away and seek for buried records. To do so, enter the visor mode and it will navigate you to the nearest unvisited buried record. Digging up and analyzing 3 buried records will complete this milestone. On your way to the records, you should do 4 activities. First, mine the bare minimum of resources needed for the first warp. You'll need 30 oxygen and 40 carbon, plus some more to fuel the personal refiner. Second, document all animals, plants and minerals you find while traveling until you document enough for each of the 3 corresponding milestones. Once you document 6 minerals, you will complete the Rock Hound milestone. Once you document 6 creatures, you will also complete Descendants. This milestone rewards you with 20 creature pellets you'll need very soon. You will probably won't be able to document the required 10 plants on the starting planets, so document as many as you can and postpone the rest for the future planets. The third thing you should do while traveling is eliminating any hazardous flora you find. Once you eliminate 6 hazardous flora, you will complete the Uprooting milestone. The last thing you should check is small groups of 3 or more ground creatures. Once you notice one, bring the in-game menu, select photo mode there and use the take screenshot hotkey from this mode to take a photo of those creatures. This will complete Snapshot in time. After that, interact with every creature in the group and feed all of them with pellets. This will force them to produce dung, and after a short cooldown you can feed them again for another portion of fresh dung. Continue picking up dung until you collect 10 and complete Noise in the Dirt. And before you leave your new friends, press Adopt as Companion on any of the creatures you fed to complete Domestic Relatives. Then select the Deeper Underground milestone. There is a trick to quickly complete it. Bring up the terrain manipulator and switch it from beam mode to the bigger sphere mode. Dig underground and use this sphere mode to quickly destroy the terrain until you excavate 2600 units of soil, which will complete this milestone in less than a minute. Now locate your starship and interact with it to complete Echoes of the Past. Your reward will be a pre-packaged personal refiner, which you should install. Use it to process 40 carbon into 20 condensed carbon. Put all the modules into your starship inventory and transfer the signal booster and 3 surge batteries to your personal inventory. Then set the exhibition admission milestone as active, open the build menu and place the signal booster. Because you selected this milestone, you will see an option called Scan for Ruins, which you should select. This will mark the ruins on the map, so get inside your starship and visit the ruins. Here you must locate with your visor and then excavate and collect 3 artifact fragments. Then locate the large artifact crate in the middle of the ruins, excavate it and insert artifact fragments to open it. This way you will obtain an expensive relic and also complete the exhibition admission milestone. And there's nothing else we need on the starting planet, so leave it and visit a local space station. Use the trade terminal to sell the relic you obtained from the last milestone and buy all ferrite dust. Then also buy all chromatic metal from any of the traders landing at the space station. Install pre-packaged scatter blaster, sublight amplifier unit, as well as shield module and suspicious pulse engine module you received from the milestones completed so far. Then visit a technology merchant, sell all the remaining modules you have and buy and install a hyperdrive module he sells to greatly optimize warping process. Then craft an antimatter housing and 1 antimatter, then 1 warp cell from them and recharge your hyperdrive. And we're done with the starting system, so select the Dig 1 milestone and warp to the system marked on the galaxy map. At this point you can finally summon the space anomaly and retrieve all the items you transferred from your main save at the expedition terminal. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, landing a precious like would be my best reward. Consider subscribing too. Now visit the local space station, then buy and install another hyperdrive module from the local technology merchant. Next, visit the dig site 1 planet and location and talk to the assistant there to complete the dig 1. Finish documenting 10 plants on this planet to complete reverse Palaeobotany. Now, if you didn't bring materials to this expedition, mine enough materials until you have 150 oxygen, 150 carbon and 130 condensed carbon, then craft 5 more warp cells. Also mine 25 sodium and craft 1 chematic seal, 2 metal platings and 3 carbon nanotubes. Move 1 dihydrogen jelly from your starship to your inventory. Now you should have the same stuff as players who prepared these materials in advance. Select the Junior Field Agent milestone and use your visor to locate fossil beds. Visit marked locations and excavate fossils, while also checking for the ice lying on the ground. If you notice one, activate it to spawn Ancient Guardians you must defeat. Defeating the first Ancient Guardian completes Do Not Disturb. Defeating 3 Ancient Guardians will complete Stone Ghosts. While excavating bones, check the message at the bottom right. Once it changes to Skeleton Parts Collected, return to Dig Site 1 to complete Junior Field Agent. Process 125 ferrite dust you bought at the space station into pure ferrite. Select Ancient Avian milestone, then bring the build menu, select the Avian fossil display there and place it on the ground. Interact with it, fill all its slots with fossils until you complete the collection, then package it to complete this milestone. That's enough for this planet, so you can leave it. Select the Dig 2 milestone, warp to the marked system, then visit the marked planet and location. Talk to the assistant there to complete it. Select the Associate Field Agent milestone, excavate fossils until you see the message at the bottom right saying that you have collected all required parts of the quest, then return to Dig Site 2 to complete it. Select Bygone Biped milestone, build a biped fossil display, fill it with bones and package it to complete it. Select the Dig 3 milestone, warp to the marked system, then visit a marked planet and location. Talk to the assistant there to complete it. Set the Written in Stone milestone as active and visit 3 memory stones on this planet to complete it. Select the Senior Field Agent milestone, excavate fossils until you get all 5 and return to Dig Site 3 to complete it. Select Former Fourlegs milestone, build a quadruped fossil display, fill it with bones and package it to complete it. Select the Dig 4 milestone, warp to the marked system, then visit a marked planet and location. Talk to the assistant there to complete it. Select the Principal Field Agent milestone, then check which of bones you're missing. Exchange any excess fossils for the missing bone at the NPC just nearby to complete the arm for a leg. And because you've just collected the missing bone, you will instantly complete Principal Field Agent. Select Reassembled Reptile milestone, build a reptilian fossil display, fill it with bones and package it to complete it. Select the Dig 5 milestone, warp to the marked system and visit a marked planet and location. Talk to the assistant there to complete it. Select the Master of Bones milestone, excavate fossils until you get all 5, then return to Dig Site 5 to complete it. Now select the Archaeologist milestone and excavate bones until you collect 55 to complete it. Select fixed Forerunner milestone, build a protoform fossil display, fill it with bones and package it to complete it. Next, bring the build menu, place a nutrient processor, cook any 3 fossils into softened marrows, then split them and cook 2 of them together to make bone broth. This will complete Hearty Stock. We're done with this planet, so leave it and visit a local space station. Then sell all the remaining fossils but 1 at the trade terminal to complete Regs and Bones. You should keep 1 bone, 1 softened marrow and 1 bone broth. The last milestone might need any of them. This is a perfect time to sell all the remaining modules you got for easy nanites. Now go to any planet with water, install a fishing rig and fill it with bionic lure. Then catch 7 fish to complete wading in. Release all the fish for extra nanites. Finally, summon the space anomaly, go right and present the last bone, softened marrow or bone broth to Kronos until you complete Bone Appetit, the final milestone in this expedition. Then visit the expedition terminal. Transfer anything you want to keep to your main save if you started the expedition from there, then finish the expedition. The game will convert your exploration achievements into units and nanites, and all currency including Quicksilver will be transferred to your main save. If you started the expedition as a new game, completing the expedition will convert it into a regular save, allowing you to keep all your items and currency as is. Either way, you can now claim the expedition rewards from the Quicksilver companion on as many saves as you like. Cheers!